Hi, Phil Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine with another couple of little unboxing videos. Two box sets, both from Cherry Red, both grapefruit and strawberry. Lots of fruitiness here from Cherry Red. And the one is Motor City is Burning, Michigan, 1965 is that to 1975. And this one is the soundtrack of London's legendary Psychedelic Club, the Middle Earth, from 1967 to 1969. Before I go any further, let's have a look in both boxes so you can see what you get. This is a look at two new box sets from Cherry Red. They're both on the grapefruit label. In fact, one's on the strawberry label, but both very fruity as part of Cherry Red. Lots of cherries, strawberries and grapefruits. And one is Middle Earth, the soundtrack to London's legendary Psychedelic Club 1967 to 1969, which is this one, which has 3 CDs, absolutely packed with stuff. And the second one is Motor City Burning, a Michigan Anthology from 1965 to 1972, also 3 CDs. So let's have a look at Middle Earth to start with. These sets are fantastic from Cherry Red. I'll do the booklet last of all. 3 discs. They always have a great picture on the front. All the track listings are on the back. Disc 2, similar thing. We're looking at 20 to 21 tracks on each disc, or 23 on this one, on disc 3 itself. And the booklets are great because not only obviously, make sure if you're visually challenged, you need your spectacles, but they go to so much detail on each band that they mention. Lots of cuttings from the music press at the time, but these are absolutely superb. So this is talking about this fantastic club in London. Lots of pictures from the period, which is absolutely superb. Lots to read here. Some great pictures, and then once we get past the introduction, we've then got each track has a little mini essay connected to every song that's on every CD, which is superb. I find that I'll say this probably again, that these kind of box sets just send you down a different rabbit hole and will introduce you to different music. You might know some of them. You might know Traffic 10 years after, the Incredible String Band, the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band, Blossom Toes, The Action. But there'll be some things in here that you'll look at it and think, I don't know who that is. I don't know what that is, and there's no other way of you finding it. Maybe an algorithm on streaming will help you find it, but a lot of these things aren't available to stream. But this is a fantastic set. I just saw Spooky Tooth there, Small Faces, Edgar Broughton Band, Jefferson Airplane, Free. This is a superb compilation. Canned Heat, Barclay James Harvest, The Gun, Yes. It's wonderful that so many different publishing companies, record labels have actually helped Cherry Red license all of this, but absolutely superb. So that's the Middle Earth one. And the next one, we're heading over towards the other side of the pond, and I think this has got a great booklet we'll come to in a moment. So disc 1, again, look at these 28 tracks on disc 1 here. On disc 2 there are 17 tracks, and then 21 tracks on disc 3. So on the booklet, very similar to the other one, a brief introduction, and then we're on to each track. And the essays here for each track are probably slightly bigger than the other box set. But there's a lot of things in here, I'll be honest, a lot of bands here that I was not aware of. So this was a great introduction to a lot of this music. Some I know, you'll see as I come along, the MC5, Alice Cooper, etc., the Stooges, Tommy James and the Shondells. There's MC5, Brownsville Station, very early version of them. Alice Cooper, Halo Flies, some cuttings from the scent from various magazines and newspapers, Music Press, Grand Funk Railroad, Sunshine, The Glass Sun, Frigid Pink, Iggy Pop again, Parliament. Some wonderful stuff. Smokey Robinson, The Miracles, Diana Ross and Supreme. So Really, really fantastic stuff. And John Lee Hooker, Motor City is Burning, which of course was where the box set has been named after. Frida Payne, Rare Earth, some great stuff here. The Flaming Ember, Fork in the Road, Warlock, and Ruth Copeland with Gimme Shelter, which is an absolutely stunning track. So that is the Motor City is Burning 3 CD box set, and also Middle Earth 1967 to 1969. So that's a look inside Motor City Burning 1965 to 1972, not 75 as I said at the very start of this video, and Middle Earth 1967 to 1969. These kind of box sets, of which I'll admit Cherry Red have been doing these for a while now, and I kind of haven't gone too close to many of them. Sometimes that's because I have much of the material on the sets. I do have a fairly extensive collection, so some of the ones where it's prog and rock from the 70s, and it's kind of like, you know, the obvious tracks like Blowing Free, Wishbone Ash, etc. I'll think, well, I don't need to go there. But these two in particular kind of like piqued my interest when I looked at the track listing and also the theme behind it. But what they've made me feel like when you've just seen, as I've gone through the booklets, it has made me wonder whether I've missed out on some gems along the way here. Now, some of you will be saying, well, you could just put this together as a playlist on Spotify. You wouldn't need to have this at all. You tend to find with any of these that a lot of the tracks aren't licensed for streaming and you won't be able to find them. And I think also, as you saw in the booklets, the essay at the front, and then the amount of detail per track makes these really, really interesting. And the other thing, of course, that they do is they send you down a rabbit hole of exploration and also an exercise in how to empty your bank account, because you start to realize that, yes, you almost relish the tracks or the bands that you know a bit, so you've got stuff by them. They might be really deep cuts, they nearly always are. But then, of course, in between this are bands that you know very little about, or bands you missed out the first time round. You think, oh, I really like that. And off you go, off to Discogs and eBay, looking for what you can find. But yeah, I mean, this is, which one am I looking at here? Middle Earth. Family, Soft Machine, Julie Driscoll, Elmer Gentry's Velvet Opera, Fairport Convention, The Crazy World of Arthur Brown. They're not the obvious tracks. Graham Bond. I'm only picking out certain things as I scan this. Blossom Toes, Bonzo Dog Duda Band, Traffic, 10 Years After, Incredible String Band, Tim Buckley, Captain Beefheart, Jefferson Airplane, Small Faces, Free, The Gun. It makes you wish you could get in a time machine and go actually back to this place, this drinking den of iniquity, where you could go and sit there and I can imagine quite how dark it was, sticky floor with all the beer stains, and this is the kind of music that was coming across the airwaves towards you. And then right across the Atlantic, of course, was Detroit, and that's the reason why this one appealed to me, is because of this area. This Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Reels are, I only know a few tracks, but I've always wanted to know more. Dick Wagner, of course, these are all Alice Cooper people, and lots of these bands, Tidal Waves, the Pagans, the Innsman, the Unknown, the King's Court, House of Commons. This is all new to me. This is all new to me. The Apostles, The Time, all of this is new. And then we've got Disc 2, which is like the rock, you know, the Stooges, MC5, Sabbath, Brownsville Station, Alice Cooper, Grand Funk Railroad, Frigid Pink. This is excellent stuff. And then you've got more soul and blues on Disc 3, The Temptations, Parliament, Politicians, Diana Ross, Smokey Robinson, Chairman of the Board, Ruth Copeland with Gimme Shelter. Have you heard that? Have you heard Gimme Shelter? Yes, The Stones, Let It Bleed by Ruth Copeland. Have you heard that? You have to listen to that. And because this is, I haven't got it in front of me, but that was the rabbit hole I went down, and I've ended up buying 2 Ruth Copeland albums on the strength of hearing that track. It's stunning. So I've really enjoyed those, and I know I am going to keep my eyes open and peeled for others in this series. And there are a couple coming up that really look exciting as well from Cherry Red. So well worth it. And like I say, you can't put that together as a streaming list. I think what I like about the UK-based one is obviously very blues, psychedelic, the birth of prog. But the American one I like because of the kind of the soul, the blues, the rock, and the fact that so much was going on in this small little part of America around the Detroit area. So wonderful stuff. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe and ring that little bell so you don't miss out on any future videos at all. Please consider becoming a patron. You can leave at any time. Just give it a try. You can have a 7-day trial and you'll get access to the WhatsApp groups, which is full of like-minded people like yourself, and the private Facebook group. We got merch as well. We've got coffee mugs. We've got hats. We've got everything you could possibly want. And also you can come along to our virtual meetup, which is for patrons and YouTube members only, at our virtual pub called the Now Spinning Arms. Remember, music is the healer and the doctor. Keep away from the news. Stay here. Take care, and I'll talk to you all very, very soon.